the semifinals of tonight.
How about Jacksonville State?
Yeah, Jacksonville State lost last week. I was kind of surprised by that.
Who was the other one that lost? Charleston Southern? Maybe?
Yeah, Charleston Southern lost as well.
Two top 8 seeds went
down. What kind of surprised? I mean, you had Chattanooga was in that. They were in the playoffs too. But I know tonight you got Sam Houston State plays. I know Sam Houston State plays. I can't remember who they play. North Dakota State plays South Dakota State.
That's a big game.
Yeah, that's a really big game.
I've always loved watching North Dakota State in the dome.
Yeah,
I think that dome is awesome.
Yeah. Let's see.
I got it right here. So that's tomorrow. South Dakota State, North Dakota State's tomorrow. Tonight, Sam Houston, James Madison. Should be a good game. James Madison has a good program. Wofford and Youngstown State tomorrow, and Richmond and Eastern Washington on the red field. So that's your quarterfinal games.
Yeah, my bad.
And so next weekend will be the semifinal games leading up to the day before the national championship. They'll play for the national championship.
Yeah, so it should be pretty good. FCS. I like watching the FCS. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I enjoy watching it. I enjoy watching that. And then also next weekend, the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl. North Carolina Central playing Grambling State. Grambling State had a good year at 11.
I thought they were FCS.
They are FCS, but they've now passed something where they do a bowl game for the predominantly black schools, and so this is the bowl game. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in Atlanta. It was in Atlanta last year.
Well, yeah, I was kind of surprised whenever I saw that bowl game on there, especially since I didn't think that they were FBS. But so what's the rule? They didn't. Is it teams that don't make the playoffs?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't even know if they play for the playoffs. There's something. It's something.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know all the details. So I know, Alabama State doesn't play for the playoffs, to get into the playoffs, and I don't think Alabama A&M plays to get into the playoffs or whatever. It's by conference, and I think they're in the SWAC. And so I think that's what they play for, is to get into the bowl game. The winner of that conference plays the winner of the other conference, and that's the bowl game. So
I got you.
I think that's the new deal there.
Did you know that Sanford? Can you believe Sanford was in the playoffs too?
Yeah.
No,
Sanford had a good year this year.
That was pretty crazy. We still got some time. I know that UFC it was supposed to be a little bit bigger weekend, but now it's kind of tapered off. You want to kind of give a rundown on that?
Yeah, I'll talk about it for a second. UFC 206 was supposed to be Daniel Cormier defending his light heavyweight belt against Anthony Johnson. Cormier had to pull out with a groin injury. He had to have surgery on his groin. Won't be back until March. And so they promoted Anthony Pettis versus Max Holloway for the main event. They stripped Conor McGregor of his featherweight title. Now remember, Conor McGregor is the featherweight and lightweight champion. They stripped him of his featherweight title because he hasn't defended it in the past year and wasn't going to defend it. Dana White came out and said Conor McGregor will be taking 10 months off now, so wasn't going to defend it anytime soon. They went ahead and stripped him of it. Jose Aldo is now the champion of the featherweight division once again. He'll face the winner of Max Holloway and Anthony Pettis. So that'll be the main event. Also, Cowboy Cerrone fights tomorrow night, which will be a really good fight. And then in a featherweight bout for the co-main event, Cub Swanson is fighting Choi. And there's hot rumor. Anthony Pettis did not make weight today, which now makes it where if it would have been a real title fight, it wouldn't have been a title fight. And so what the UFC has now come out and said is if Max Holloway wins, he'll be the interim champ. If Anthony Pettis wins, he won't be the interim champ. And a lot of people are saying that Choi, if he were to win, would face Jose Aldo next. So it's going to be really interesting to see what goes on in the featherweight division. We haven't had a title fight in that division in over a year now. We had an interim title fight at UFC 200 between Jose Aldo and Frankie Edgar. Aldo won, which has now made him the champ. So that division's been really wacky now since Conor McGregor came onto the scene last January. And so a lot has been going on. But 206 was supposed to have George St. Pierre, and Anderson Silva was rumored to be, being scheduled as the main event. That fell through. They put the light heavyweight title fight. That fell through with an injury, and so it's just kind of been crazy. They're in Canada tomorrow night, and it seems like every time they go to Canada, something crazy happens up there. So
Yeah.
But that's what's going on there. And then in other news, UFC 208 was canceled. It was supposed to be in Anaheim in January. So now in February, it was supposed to be 209 in Brooklyn. It'll now be UFC 208.
Why did it get canceled?
I don't think they were having trouble finding a main event for it, like a good main event.
Yeah.
I think they asked Michael Bisping if he wanted to fight in it. He said he wouldn't be available. And then they also asked Chris Cyborg, who is the girl that everybody's been saying that could beat Ronda Rousey before she got beat.
Right.
And Cyborg apparently turned down the fight. It was going to be they were going to have the first ever women's 145-pound championship fight.
Wow.
So, but apparently she backed out of that. So now they had to cancel that event, and they have moved it to February. Will be UFC 208 now in Brooklyn, New York.
I got you. Well, a lot of interesting stuff in the UFC world. I think that about wraps us up.
Yeah, I think that does it. Make sure to follow us at Hiding Our Bias on Twitter. You can follow Trip
at T_Blackman9 on Twitter.
And you can follow me at Caleb Brooks 22. We use the Hiding Our Bias to tweet out polls, just tweet out stuff about sports. And you can follow our personal accounts where we talk about other sports with, everybody and, just kind of say what we want to say. But
y'all tweet at us. Let us know what y'all let us know what you think. Let us know if our opinions are wrong or if we're right, because I know I'm right, but Brooks is usually wrong. But yeah, let us know what you want us to talk about. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Well, I think that about does it for us, man. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed listening, and we will see you next week.